not here. Me I eat my food. No. Because it's not here. And when they had to go take the time and go bed. And they will stink. That woman. So something we have to figure out. And I'm going to fix you up in here in a dirty girl. Me have to mash up all things in here. Mash up them blood clot. I say if I just such around, I lick out the blood clot glass. Because sometimes the pressure does feel like more mad, crazy, and just mash up. Like the place of fire. Stab up jokes and stab the pit of them and just everything just done and over with.
The Child Protection and Family Services Agency says it moved to remove the children of popular TikToker June, Rosalee Dixon from their mother.
But clot way, you don't know way. You don't know way. I'll piss by you don't know way. You know there no way. I'm just telling mama that I will go live out the gully. You know there no way. No boy with me freak out no there no way. See I run come like your things. You know there no way. No way you know there you waste man. My man mockers. Rosalee pretty like a freak.
Welcome to a brand new segment on our podcast, Let's Talk Sense. Now, this isn't just another trending topic breakdown. We'll pull lessons, insights, and perspective from what's going on so you leave with more than just the headlines. So yes, this might be what everyone's talking about, but our goal isn't to add noise. It's to help you see the bigger picture, to learn something, or maybe even challenge how you think about it.
The Child Protection and Family Services Agency says it moved to remove the children of popular TikToker June, Rosalee Dixon from their mother as part of an ongoing investigation into alleged abuse. The agency says it stepped in to protect the children arising from remarks she made on a recent live stream where she expressed views about causing harm. The agency says it has a legal obligation to ensure the care and protection of children. Would have thought that losing your children would make anyone reflect. A moment where someone says, okay, this is serious, something has to change. Well, instead, what we've seen is the opposite. More vulgar content. Some persons even commented that this is the happiest they have seen her since her kids were taken. Now that tells you everything. The spectacle matters more than the consequence. The crisis of our children being taken was not an exit for the show. It becomes another chapter in the show when even that doesn't slow you down where the vulgarity is concerned. It's not ignorance. It's addiction. For some people, trending has become their therapy, their validation, their only sense of existence. When someone knows the law has intervened, when someone knows the implications are real and they continue anyway, it's a choice. It's choosing to turn pain into performance. It's choosing shock over sanity. And that behavior sends a message, right? If losing your children won't slow you down, then how serious is your mission really? Because the mission now isn't parenting. It's posting. It's going viral. It's being vulgar. It's being loud.
Auntie Dana, come here. May I send a message to you? You know, so the kids is at CPS. And your ending result is to come on the internet and say, oh, they must not get back their kids because them too toxic. I see it's a con artist on the internet, Auntie Dana. That's what they mean. When I walk when I use people weakness and beg for them and teeth out tight. That's what me think. So I use when I sip on the net, but I don't know in a real life in Auntie Dana. That's what I sip on the net.
Now, a lot of people assume that these content creators doing the most vile, vulgar, disgraceful things online, okay, they just don't know any better. They think maybe they're ignorant, maybe they don't understand the impact of what they're doing. And I have heard persons gone as far as saying that these people may be suffering from some trauma. Maybe there's some truth to that, but I do believe that they know exactly what they're doing. They understand the consequences of what they're doing. They know right from wrong. They understand the gravity of it, but they don't care. Because for them, attention is the new currency. Views equal engagement. Engagement equals income. And that's all that matters to them.
Stop mix the internet with real life. Stop mix the internet with real life. You see, the internet sells story, controversy, rumors, all type of something. This is the devil's playground. I, Rosalee, don't mix internet with real life. When I'm on the internet, I am at work. And when I'm on outside of the net, I want total different Rosalee. Total different Rosalee. I am a mother, not a mama. And then, you know, I'm still on the net because what? I call this my workplace to make bread for my kids. When you feel like that me and just planning for views or hype, we don't think so. Stop mix the internet with real life. And that you not always use and judge people. Because you don't know them in person and you use one character, one person when they put on for the net like a show and judge them. Learn to know people before you talk.
It's coming straight from the horse's mouth. That's not the real me, she said. That's just my online persona. It's my job. But let's be real. Work doesn't excuse wrongdoing. If your work involves disgrace, vulgarity, and misleading impressionable people, then it's not a job. It's exploitation of your own morals for views. That's if you had any morals to begin with. And the idea that everything was planned doesn't make it clever, it makes it worse. Because that means you knew exactly what you were doing. You knew how it would shock people. You knew it would trend. You did it anyway.
Stop judge me. You don't know me from nowhere and I don't know you. Pray for me. Pray for long life success, that I get back my kids and do the right thing. We all make mistakes. We all do make mistakes. When you feel like that me and just planning for views or hype, we don't think so. Stop mix the internet with real life.
I am just working is like saying don't judge me for destroying my own reputation because it pays the bills. But judgment isn't the problem here. Lack of accountability is. There's a difference between working hard and working dirty. Real work builds something. What she's doing breaks something. Breaks standards, decency, self-respect, and obviously her family. And if the cost of her success is the collapse of her character, kids being taken away, then you're not working. That excuse doesn't soften the disgrace. It magnifies it. It truly does. Doesn't soften it. It magnifies it because if you can admit that your online behavior isn't who you truly are, you're confessing that you knowingly perform vulgarity. You understand the difference between decency and disgrace, and you choose disgrace because it pays. That's not acting, that's moral detachment. And what's worse is that many of them hide behind that reasoning as if separating their real life from their online life absolves them.
Stop judge me. You don't know me from nowhere and I don't know you.
But the internet is still real life to the people watching, especially the impressionable ones learning from you, sadly. So don't tell people it's just a job when the product you're selling is degeneracy, because at that point, your income isn't earned, it's exchanged for integrity. And it's a shame, not just because of what it says about you, but because of the message it sends to the next generation that's watching you. It tells them that if you can't be great, at least be disgraceful, because disgrace now pays better than discipline. And that's the tragedy of this digital age. Now let's talk about the lack of talent and creativity that some of these content that we see floating around, they're not funny, they're not creative, just plain vulgarity. And when you look, thousands of people are watching live. And I bet you if you should search online for some educational content, the views are incomparable. What you find is lots of begging, they call it gifts, the fancy name for beggars, online. And ironically, these people are called influencers, and you have to ask, Influencing who? And influencing them to do what? Because if your claim to fame is being reckless, obscene, or disrespectful online, then your influence is just a reflection of a broken audience. Yet somehow these individuals get paid. They're getting gifts on a daily basis, followers by the masses, and even sponsorships. Ridiculous. All for behavior that used to be considered shameful. And before anyone, as you feel as though anyone is bad mind and we're just grudgeful of people and their followers, doing videos is just a hobby. It's not a job, first and foremost. So I'm not online every single day hoping to get views, to be paid. It's really about being a dissenting voice to the nonsense, to the one or two persons who will watch objectively and be able to think critically and learn something. So you don't see any form of creativity, no script, no concept, no editing skill, no creativity, just shock, noise, and vulgarity. Makes you wonder, how can something so empty influence anyone? But yet it is influencing a lot of people, because hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of people sit down and watch the nonsense. That's the sad reality of the times we're living in. We now celebrate the lazy. People no longer want to think, conceptualize, or even challenge themselves to create something meaningful. Sit down and plan a smart idea, start a business, learn a skill, or even build something that adds value to others. But let's talk about the other problem, which is the audience problem. Sadly, there's an overwhelming audience for this kind of content. Can you believe it? The truth is, people say they're disgusted, and you see it in the comment section all the time, but guess what? They're still watching, they're commenting, and they're sharing, and that's exactly why it keeps happening. The platform owners, they reward those disgusting behaviors because of the engagement. Because as long as there's an audience, there will always be someone willing to perform foolishness for attention. So when we talk about the problem, it's not just the creator, it's the consumers also who keep feeding the cycle. Now, we've built a culture that rewards the shortcut, where ignorance pays faster than intelligence and foolishness trends longer than wisdom. So if this is what passes for entertainment, what does that say about us as a society? When vulgarity becomes a profession and talent becomes irrelevant, it's not just the creators who've lost their way, it's the audience as well. Now, let's be real. Sometimes when us as educators or commentators or the dissenting voice, we choose to speak out against these things to highlight the vulgarity and how it can affect impressionable young minds, some of these so-called influencers don't take it well. Instead of reasoning, which a lot of them really they have more reasoning ability, they respond with more disrespect. Pursue out and act as if being loud and vulgar somehow makes them right. But that reaction only proves the very point that we're making, that many of them are not interested in growth. They are not interested in growing. They're not interested in accountability. They're just addicted to their attention.
And let us be very clear for those who are watching this video. This is not an attack on content creators. I know some persons watching this, that's what your limited thought process allows you to think. We're not saying everyone needs to do educational videos. There's room for everyone online. Comedians, dancers, vloggers, storytellers, you name it. We can be fun, expressive, creative without normalizing moral decay. Because when impressionable minds are watching, which a lot of people seem to not care about the impressionable minds amongst us anymore, we have a moral obligation, especially when you know better. When the impressionable minds are watching, what we glorify becomes their guide. For those of you who have kids, they're growing up. Is this the generation? Is this the world that you want them to grow up in? We can be the changes that we want to see by starting with the man in the mirror. So yes, create and entertain, but not at the expense of decency, True creativity builds culture, it doesn't corrode it. And the truth is, many of these creators could care less about what critics say. They don't care about being wrong, they don't care about the example they set, and they definitely don't care about self-reflection.
Because for them, attention is currency, and as long as people are watching, they feel that they are winning. It's not about right or wrong anymore. It's about relevance. It's about being viral, going viral and trending and creating an engagement, because that's the currency. So when you try to reason with them, you are reasoning with people who have traded conscience for clout, and that's why no amount of logic can reach them. They are too addicted to validation to value wisdom. Before you scroll away, do you have any kids, nieces, nephews, maybe a cousin who's always on their phone? How do you feel knowing this is what they're seeing every day, whether or not they want to? It's just a reality. It's up in your face. It's flooded online. And believe it or not, they will still find a way to be online. Just know that what we reward online becomes their reality. If we stay silent while nonsense gets louder, what future are we leaving for them? And I know a lot of people could care less about the future. They are just living for now. It's not a realistic way to live at all. But sometimes it's not about judging, it's about protecting by adding our dissent to the nonsense. Maybe the real question isn't about what people are posting. It's about what we have stopped valuing. When nonsense becomes normal, it's not about censorship. It's about consciousness. We can be free and responsible. We can express and respect.